Hello, everyone. Welcome to a revised session of NeuroKintsugi. This year will be a little bit different from previous years, those who are familiar with my course. I'm Alina Smolyansky, a certified instructor of Neurographic and NeuroKintsugi. And by the way, I am the only instructor who offers NeuroKintsugi, this fascinating technique in English. The idea of philosophy and principle of Kintsugi, ancient Japanese art that's known for its culture, tradition, and for what's about repairing a broken pottery. And not only repairing it, but emphasizing whatever is done with gold. Typically it's gold, but could be used silver and platinum. In our real life, it's quite often we want to hide something, but it's not so much about hiding. We cannot hide it. This comes as our experience, but we can use it as I would like to say to create our wholeness using the principle of Kintsugi as like emphasize our experience, like being an experienced person, being a resilient person. And also what I wanted to mention about it and we're dealing today, it will be concept of letting go. We use this concept often, letting go, but what does it mean? Does it mean that we throw it away? Does it mean that we hide it? What's it about letting go? Whom? Why? What? So I've been thinking about it, and what I realized, and that it applies specific with the Kintsugi and Neurographic as well, is it's changing our perception. And as we change our perception, that's what Neurographic does. That's what Neurographic art does. We change our attitude, and as a result, our reality changes. It's almost like we have different glasses, like this. We put in different glasses, and it changes our light in through which and lenses through which we see reality. So letting go is changing our perception, and that's exactly what we're going to do with our drawing. It's going to be a very simple drawing, and I also have a course of NeuroKintsugi course in the following presentation. The course itself is embraced your whole self, NeuroKintsugi art for self-love. Essentially what we do to self-love, acceptance and self-love. What is Kintsugi? Ancient Japanese art form which broken pottery repaired in a very specific way by masters of Kintsugi. First, they glue the item, they assemble it, broken pieces, glue it, and cover with gold. This art supposedly originated thousands of years ago, but it was much more known in 15th, 16th, 17th century. Item is unique. You can imagine that a few items were produced by the same master, and they could be very similar. However, if they break, if they fall a break, they will break in their unique way. So in this way, every person's experience is completely unique. For example, if we take our two identical twins, they can be similar in some ways, but their life could be completely different. Their characters could be completely different because that's life experience. So similarly, Kintsugi piece is valued because it's unique. Now, Kintsugi therapy came to Western world not such a long time ago and became metaphor for repairing and assembling our broken pieces. Something that was broken and repaired, acquiring its resilience. That's very important to note that if that Kintsugi piece, repaired by Kintsugi, falls and breaks again, it will never be broken in the same lines. The seams, the golden seams, repair intact, new unique pattern of brokenness. Similar in our life, if we learn, so-called learn our lessons, I mean change our perception to our life experience, we will acquire a new experience, but that so-called lesson learned, it will be different. We will not repeat similar mistakes. And you probably know that sometimes in life situation changes and we experience something similar. I know it myself, and I live in a life, and I know that something that situation repeat themselves. Why? Because I didn't change myself, my attitude towards it. So briefly about history and legend. Supposedly, Shogun at that time, military head of Japan, had his famous tea bowl. It broke, and he returned to Chinese master who made it with ideas of repairing. They repair it, but they put metal pieces to hold it together. The Shogun didn't accept it. He had different ideas, and he called Japanese masters and asked them to find a way how it could be done in a more aesthetic way. Story goes, they discovered this amazing way of emphasizing those scars, wounds with gold. And that Shogun accepted it and liked very much. And since then, this art became signature art in Japan, very traditional, and is still practiced until today. Putting back together, if it's in real life, pieces are brought together, they're glued with special glue, a process of weighting, and then those so-called scars are covered with gold powder, real gold powder, again, and it's polished and they shine. But example below, it's one of my drawings that we're going to do in our session 2. It's assembling our life using those pieces and using gold, using metal marker as a way of joining those pieces together. The Kintsugi was invented, developed by my colleague from Israel, Irene Martinova, who combined neurographic art and the idea of Kintsugi. We can use golden marker or metallic marker. I use golden paint quite often. I found it, which you're welcome to use. And in our session, if you don't have golden marker or metallic marker, you're welcome to use any other marker and think of it as gold. You can see examples of drawings. One of them is this golden mandala, the puzzle of my life. That's the middle. And there's session 3. There will be something similar, but not this. And the course itself that we will work on how to assemble ourselves, our characters, our pieces together. That's a golden mandala. Session 2 will be the puzzle of my life, which is looking at our life situations, looking at our life activities and ideas and putting them together again. And then instead, that was a traditional class, the desires of my heart was traditional session 3 in the previous years. This year, I would like to do something different. If you're interested in learning more about Kintsugi, there are plenty of resources available online. Thanks. As you can see, I've prepared our regular drawing tools. Markers, pencils, also use gold paint. That's my signature. I use markers, gold markers, but they didn't work for me quite well. Today, as I mentioned, that we're changing our perception. I would like us to think about a situation in our life, something that you are not satisfied right now, something you would like to change your attitude. You would like the situation to change, meaning you would like to either let it go or change attitude, something related to relationship. I don't like particular how it's going. It's not very painful. I would say if I think about it from how much it bothers you, you can from 1 to 10. 10 being very acute, strong pain. For me, it's probably 4 or 5. I will use some regular size paper, A4 or letter size. You can position it portrait or horizontal, and also a marker. So I will use a regular marker. I would probably suggest using a lighter color as we're going to cover that with gold. You may think about not a too contrasting color. And also in relation to your mood, what color you want to represent your situation, but it's also not too bright. I'm not too fond of pink, but I think I will use one of the orange colors. And we'll do a very simple exercise as we imagine our situation right now. Any figure, trust your hand and just describe it using your hand like a shape. fairly large size. I mean, like, something like that. Since I mentioned that it's something that I'm not quite happy with it, I would like to change it. And in the way, as if I changed, I need to change my attitude. That means I letting go of my old attitude and changing my impression using drawing, neurographic art. Well, think about it, and I will use my hand just to draw a catharsis. I hope everybody knows that catharsis is like a very quick expression, like doodle, that represents my feeling about it. It's more or less like throwing something. So I gather my feelings. It's not too complex. So I gather my feelings, and I'll just okay. And within this bubble, now I will look, is there anything else? If I can see, before rounding anything else, we'll change the steps of, basic algorithm will change the steps. So since I want to change it, I want to see to change into what? I will look for a shape that's contained with this line. Is there any shape that reminds me of something? Something else. We can also add, a line. You can also think of it of a maybe container, like a vase of pottery. Like, for example, I see this one shape. Connect. So I will just add this line. And since this is Kintsugi, as you called, I will imagine this is a different container, like a different vase, pottery. Now we can use a gold marker or any metallic marker or paint and convert it using neurographic lines. In neurographic lines, the lines that, the pattern have no pattern, do not repeat themselves. And those who know the steps of this exercise, I will draw lines. Like first, I'll outline this container first with gold. So I'll outline it. I can then round the corners and I make sure that that I cover the old lines with gold paint. And similarly, I will work with the lines, the remaining lines. I outline them using first within this new container, new object. First, I will work within the line containing within my new changed situation, my new perception. If you have a line sticking out, so I will
connect it to the nearest line.
I do not like this point. It's sharp object. So, I will extend it to the end of the page. Typically what we do in neurographic art. If you're using any metallic marker paint, please be careful because it doesn't dry instantly. And my paint doesn't dry, so I have to be very careful not to smudge it. For simplicity, I will turn it this way. Now I will continue this line. Now if I'm drawing, I still have in my mind, my eyes, I keep in mind of that a new shape, not the old shape, but the new shape. That's the idea, to change my perception using this drawing. Now I'll take this line outside. Take it, extend the line and take this energy here, the sharpness, using the neurographic line outside to the edge, out of this field, like this, where my attention is. As you can see, and also at the same time, I round corners at the process. So no sharpness. This drawing has some conflict in it. So it's very important to round all the corners. So in my experience, using gold or metallic markers is quite powerful. So if you know my drawings, I keep on drawing neurographic lines many times. In this specific technique, it doesn't require as many lines. I am using watercolor gold paint now. And we have a few lines that left from our previous experience. These lines, I diffuse in the field. I outline it with gold and the same treatment, and I will take them, that energy that's stored in them, out. I don't want to see them. So that the shape. I diffused their energy. It's called in the field, in the background. So this I added lines, new lines. If I can make them a little bit thinner. They're not important. I don't want to attract attention to them at all. And that small, this is a small loop. I can take. It's not sharp, but at the same time, it attracts too much of my attention. I don't want to see it. So I will connect it to the line. This shape, so I want to keep my attention on this new shape. I can even outline it. Make it stronger, more prominent in my drawing. It's not ideal. And I will work more on diffusing this line, just taking my attention from it. Maybe by adding a few lines. String light, I still see it. That's the idea now for me. It's a challenge. I do not want to see that the original shape. So what can I do to visually to eliminate it? Even not enough lines, obviously line diffusing can help, but also we can use colors to add to this, to make this new impression more powerful than the old one. Also with this golden marker and the Kintsugi, you can notice that it doesn't require much color. Even leaving that nice, like pristine, pure white and gold is also acceptable, and it looks beautiful and very gentle. And I would like to see what will change if I add colors. Colors, what I think about my in relation to my new situation. You know what my feeling is? Why when I look at it, I know that it's not stable. It doesn't stand on its own. So it's leaning in this area and as if it doesn't have enough support, which is true when I think about it. So now I'm just interpreting. Could be done. Could I incorporate this one of the areas inside? It's a nice egg shape. I feel like I want this shape to belong to it, to add to it. I'm being transparent with you. Right now, I feel like give me a new piece of paper. I want to start from the very beginning, but I can't. This is life. I have to deal with it. So I have to find a way how to change it. So that's very interesting. So I felt like I found a solution. And I'm sharing with you in case you're experiencing something like that. You, not in this drawing, but in general, if you in neurographic and neurographic art, you feel like something you want to start from the very beginning. Maybe it's a good idea. I would like to start from the beginning, but I still have this, what I started now. So, what if I add this one? It's more like stability.
I change this.
I think I changed. So I like this shape, egg shape, much better than the previous one, which emerged as a result of, as I was working on the other one, on the first one. So it wasn't as apparent at the beginning. Now I will, so what can I do? I will make this line stronger, wider, more powerful. Oh, feeling better now. Perfect. It's absolutely, this shape, is an egg shape, absolutely perfect. I outline it as a wide line. So I need impression. I need to change my impression and divert it from the old one to the new one. I think, and I even prefer seeing it in this position, like this. Now I'm going to round the new corners. You can see kind of a star here. That's many, many elements. Now my goal is to make it only this drawing to make this visible. I can add a gentle blue. Even the color of air, freedom. I will probably need to add more gold lines later, as if I'm covering the lines with my pencil. It's gentle. I don't want it to be intense. I just want to add smooth. I still see this old shape where he was intermediary situation. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably I will convert it in a different shape again. I don't want to see it. Nice green. Purple, nice. You can probably hardly see the colors because of the bright light. A combination of lilac, blue, green, and yellow for now with this egg. I see a couple more eggs here, which I could probably use. They're not the main elements, but they are probably something, if I see them, they may contribute to this situation. Then I change. No, but I don't want to spoil it for now. Like I will need time to look at it again and think about it. Now, if you're familiar with Neurographic, you may add the field lines. You may work on it according to your understanding of this technique. And the colors, I will add some colors on them to support this figure. An environment, very gentle. This NeuroKintsugi doesn't have to be bright. And the element of three-dimensional. So as a result, I very much like the shape, egg shape. It's large and like strong, even, symmetrical. There's also some indication of a star, pentagram in the middle. Just it's a nice sign of happiness, unity. I may work with these elements here, convert them into a shape, but this one will remain the main one, the result of my drawing.